Welcome back to another episode of eSports, Metaverse, and beyond.
How are you doing today, Chase?
I'm doing great today, Sage, and I'm excited today because we're interviewing the father and son duo, co-founder and CEO of BlazeFire Games, Isiah and Michael Reese. Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me and Michael, me as the CEO and co-founder, and my son, Michael BlazeFire Game Reese, the other co-founder of the company. Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Thank you for coming to the show. I'm really excited for this episode. This is the first time we're interviewing two people at once.
Oh, perfect. Oh, so we're breaking the record then. We're starting something new. All right, we'll take it.
Yep. Since this is a show for gamers, we'd like to play a little game before we dive in. All right, for a bit of fun.
Yeah. If it's a game, I'm sure he's going to win. So, Michael's probably going to win at it. So we'll go at it. So
it's game time. We're going to ask you guys 3 bonus questions. Are you ready to answer them?
Are you ready to answer them? All right, we're ready to answer them. Okay. Hey, if I can't answer, can I pass it to the friend?
Sure, but it shouldn't be that hard.
Okay.
Isiah, what was your favorite video game growing up?
Oh, my favorite video game was Atari. You guys probably didn't know that because there's nobody. It was Atari. It was a space game where you could just kind of shoot all the space things. I was really good at that too.
Like Space Invader?
It's like Space Invader. There you go. Perfect.
Michael, do you have a favorite video game you like to play with your dad? And if so, which game is it?
I like to play Madden when I fell with my dad.
Okay, Madden is a good choice. Which is your favorite?
What's your favorite? The one you beat me on too much.
NBA.
All right. Tell them. He's NBA 2K. He beats me up pretty bad on NBA 2K, guys. Like it's murderous. I try. Did I get close winning last time? The score is always too bad. Chase and Sage, I might have like 20, he might have like 80.
Oh, okay. Isiah and Michael, if you could turn one video game into a movie, which video game would it be?
Whoa, that is a tough one. Okay, I need to pass the buck here. If we could turn a video game into a movie, which one would you turn? What movie would you turn to a video game?
Probably Valorant.
No, what movie? What movie? Avatar? Is that good? No? Tarzan's already won.
Endgame.
Marvel Endgame. Yes, Marvel Endgame. Yes, we both love Marvel. Like we're Marvel freaks. Like we are fanatics of the Marvel. Yes, Marvel.
That's a good choice. Thanks for playing. You two just earned 800 points.
Hey, can I get that in bucks? Like Valorant bucks?
Sadly, you can't, but
man.
At least you still get points.
Okay, we'll take the points.
Isiah, can you introduce yourself and share how you got into the esports industry?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Chase and Sage. So how I got into the esports industry, first of all, I have a career in technology. Was the head of worldwide marketing, director of worldwide marketing for several years for Microsoft. So I was around Xbox a lot. But even during that time, Michael never had an Xbox, right? Because I was like, nope, if you want to play the games, you got to figure out how to build the games and do the games and all that. So I really got into it because of the education side. What I really wanted to see was more Chase, Sage, and Michael's figuring out not just how to play the game, but write the scripts for the games, draw the avatar drawings, like be the content creator, because that's really where the money is. Listen, I know there are a lot of professional gamers out there making money, but the real money is the guy who's building the background for the game, right? Because that money you can charge $100 an hour, $200 an hour. So I got into it because I wanted to see more people that look like Michael and the both of you, not just be the consumers, but actually be the content creators and make the real money. So that's how I got into on that side. But I have to admit, the real initiative behind getting in gaming was Michael. One night I was sitting in the same office and I was trying to come up with a name for the gaming company. And I was like, oh, we should call it a period game. We should call it a period game. And Michael looked at me, he said, what? We need to call it what?
BlazeFire.
He said, need to call it BlazeFire. That's his gamer name, Blazefire 1911. So Michael was an inspiration behind me creating, along with him, Blazefire Games. And now we're in 100+ countries.
That's amazing. I really like that name you came up with, Michael.
Yeah, you like it? You say you like it. You gotta tell him something.
Thank you.
Yeah, he said thank you, guys.
All right. What challenges do people from underrepresented communities face in trying to get into the esports industry?
I would say the biggest challenge that people that look like us face in that is that because esports is bigger over in China, right? And the Asian company. Gaming and esports over in the US is predominantly white. So what happened was we had an industry where we were just the consumers, meaning, hey, we were buying the games, right? Michael's playing the game, Chase is playing the game, Sage is playing the games. But the problem was we weren't creating the games. So when they started seeing the industry seeing us create the games, we're now facing years and years of, can they really do it? Right? They're questioning, I believe they're questioning the ability for us to do it. And I think we, along with generation like you, Michael, and the two of you, we have a chance to help change that narrative, right? Instead of that narrative being told for us, we are now saying, hey, industry, we are here. We're knocking at the door. We're like, hey, guess what? We write music too for games. We draw too for games. Yeah, we need to get the same pay as that guy that doesn't look like me. So the challenge we face is just that years of systemic racism, sadly, that we have to fight. But luckily we have guys, people like me, and people like you, Michael, and people like two of you that says, no, we're not going to take that no more.
When did you start your mission? Because this is very inspiring. I'm just wondering, when did this all start?
Yeah, I think Michael's 12, turning 13 May 1st, right? 5 years ago was when he walked in this office and said, you need to call it Blazefire Games. I was like, oh. So we had an education company since 2008, right? Michael wasn't born until 2010, right? So we had an education company for a long time, Appearing Global Institute. It didn't really grow until around 2015. By then, Michael's sitting there at an age where I saw him gaming. He didn't get a PlayStation until he was 8 because I had refused to buy a game. I was like, I'm not buying that. He didn't learn how to build them. So he didn't get his first place at what, 8? Yeah, it was 8 or 9, right? So there it was. Now he barely plays PlayStation because he has a PC, right? So, but I think that was it, right? And then you were playing what most time? No, you weren't playing Battle on the PC then. Fortnite more?
Roblox.
Oh yeah, Roblox and Fortnite. Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's what he was playing. So that's what that's what inspired me, man. I was like, no, we're an education company. So let's educate everyone to get hired by those companies. That's our mission. Our mission is to reimagine the delivery of education.
Okay.
That's a great mission. So how does Blazefire address these challenges?
What we do, I put people like Michael and the two of you in front and showing these companies, here's our next generation of content creators. But then I go look for other people that they wouldn't think about. Like I go to the juvenile justice system, right? So juveniles may be in jail, but they're still kids. So I go and work with them and then I get them trained on cybersecurity, video game design. See, I go where people don't want to go to find the talent. So that was how Blazefire Games said, we're going to go find where everyone's not going. We're going to go help the people who are coming out of prison who can't get a job because they have a record, right, guys? But what if we taught them video game design? What if we taught them eSports and cybersecurity? Right? Now they can work from home and they don't have to go beg somebody for a job. That's how we're addressing it. We're going to where no one else goes.
That's very unique. We've talked to people who help people learn how to play games, kids specifically, but what you're doing is special compared to them. It's really cool.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, I think when I look at people like Michael and everyone, society already says you guys won't make, you guys, luckily, Michael has, he has a dad and, we have parents that, we both, all three of you got parents that help everyone, right? So, it's lucky when you have parents in your lives to kind of drive that. So Michael's lucky he has parents in his lives like that. And then, of course, the two of you have parents in your lives like that.
Right. Isiah, what obstacles did you face in the early days of implementing your career pathway programs?
I believe I would say the biggest challenge I had was even talking with Michael was trying to figure out what were the correct career pathways. What were the ones that the industry was needing right then and there? And more importantly, what were they going to be needing 5 years from now? So when I wrote out our 10-year business plan, because I wrote out a 10-year business plan for this, think about it. We're now in year 5 of our business plan. Now I have a kid who's sitting on the interview who can talk about it, right? So we wrote out this 10-year business plan of what we were going to do. So we're working with Native Americans, we're working with Hispanics. See, we were like, well, if the demographics is changing for the US, then we need to go work on a different demographic. So the challenge we faced was that the industry didn't think that this talent of this multicultural talent could bring that type of content creation. But you saw it every day on IG. You see it every day on TikTok. You see African American. So you are content creators. So we had to then say they weren't just content creators, that they were real bright people that could, you need to hire them, and here's why.
Okay, we've heard that 8 years ago, you said you started doing just education before moving towards esports. So do you still teach people about other career paths in education and such? Or is
Absolutely.
it yes now?
No, that's always been great question, Trish. That's always going to be our core. We teach people about project management. We teach them about facilitation skills, right? We have a new program with air traffic controller. At age 18, you can finish your apply and be an air traffic controller and earn $103,000 a year.
Wow.
You see what I
That's
mean?
very helpful.
And guess what? The FAA, who's air traffic controllers, they need to hire 4,000 people by the end of 2025. Guess who they're hiring? They're only looking for gamers to fill those roles.
Wow.
See? So gaming does help, right? I mean, it is a career path. I mean, it's a career path. So,
Yeah.
so here they are looking for gamers to fill 4,000 roles that start at $100,000 at 18 years old. So you guys have a bright future. So I need y'all to hurry up and turn 18.
Thank you. Well, Michael, how's it feel to be a CEO at such a young age? Or co-founder, I guess.
Yeah.
It feels great knowing that I started my own business when I was just a little kid.
Can you speak up a little bit? I can't really hear you.
It feels good knowing I started a business when I was a little kid.
That's really good. Oh, what have you learned while watching your father conduct business?
Yeah, what have you learned? Kind of, because I always let you listen to business calls.
I learned that he's usually the main speaker of the call.
Okay.
Michael, what do you think are some common misconceptions that parents have about esports and gaming?
I think parents usually think video games makes you not focused on other things in life like school and other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah,
Yes, I heard that.
gaming can definitely be used for something good. Like you said before, because the gamers, over 4,000, soon to be 5,000 people will be hired and go into air control and gain more than $100,000 at age 18.
Yeah.
When did you realize that gaming is so beneficial, Michael?
He's asking when did you realize gaming was good for you? Well, about 10, I think you really around, I'm helping with this. Around age 10, I think you realize that I saw something, right, guys? So 8, dad named that game. Around 10, I started seeing him like really good. And then he was like, Dad, I can do this, right? And I'm like, all right, we'll see. And then around 11, you kicked it in because for his 11th birthday party, we rented a game truck. And I
Okay.
saw it then that, okay, maybe he can do something with this creative side and gaming side. And then guys, that's when I saw it, right? I think that's when, yeah, anything else? That's about that age, right? Yeah, it's kind of kicked, he kind of kicked in, right? And I was like, oh, wait a minute. We need to keep building this out.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Esports players get paid so much money to play games, and then there are the designers for the merchandise. There are the people commenting on it. It's all so cool.
Yeah.
Isaiah, what do you think are some important skills and qualities that a person will need to succeed in esports, both as a player and a professional in the space?
Oh wow. All right. I think we're both gonna answer that because he's a better gamer than me. So I got to lean on my co-founder here, right? All right. So what are some skills? I think on professional, I'm gonna answer on the professional and let you answer on the player, right? Is that good? All right. On the professional side, I think is more it is really about being good at focus on the game that you're good at. I think there's something you got to eat right. That's a very important thing. There's a mental piece to it, realizing that you have to balance your mental side with that because gaming can, it's good and bad, right? You have to think the good with the bad. If you do something too much, that's like eating McDonald's burgers every day. Eventually you're going to gain weight, right? So you have to balance it out. The other professional side I would say is being able to play in the game on a professional level, realizing you are now being looked at by millions of people and that every move that you make, and if you make a bad move, like whether it's bullying somebody online or something like that, that could cost you thousands and thousands of dollars of sponsorships where people will say, I'm not supporting that guy no more, right? And I think that's where I look at the professional level. You are a professional player, but as a skilled player, what, Michael, what do you think? A skilled player, what was the other part of the question? Some of the things a player would need also, skills?
Yes, a player and a professional in the space.
Yeah.
So just other roles in esports, like a commentator, a social media manager, a merchandise creator, things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, business manager, all of that. You got to have a good financial manager to manage your money. I mean, all of that. When you're at that professional level, you are now like an NBA player, right? You got to have people. You got to have the right people managing your money, and more importantly, always you follow your money, and that instead of somebody else. What type of skills somebody as a player need to have?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, what type of skills do you think they need to have? Like you said, they need to be good at the game or what? Or decide which game they want to play or what? Well, you got to answer that one, guys.
Well, they should first decide what kind of game they want to play, like a explore world game or like a shooter game.
Yeah. So are shooter games your favorite, Michael? Okay. It looked like you like shooter games. And you said Valorant is your favorite, right? Well, I've never tried Valorant, but I've tried some shooter games. I think they're pretty fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, all right, let me ask. So, can I ask him a question? So, why do you like Valorant? Well, you got to answer them, Casper.
I think I mostly like Valorant because of the skins.
Okay.
Skins are pretty cool in video games. Now it's time for esports Metaverse news.
All
What are
right.
the current trends you're seeing in the world of esports, Isaiah?
Some of the trends I'm starting to see is I'd like to focus at esports is now the industry is putting on girl gamers. I think that's important. I mean, Michael has two big sisters, right? So I think that's really, really important that girl gamers that there's a focus on that. Being a dad, girl dad, I mean, like his sister plays Roblox, Madison plays Roblox a lot, right? That's her favorite game. She's 15. And then they play Roblox together, against one another. So I think that's really important that I'm seeing that trend happening. We're not there yet. We're a long way from it. Now we're starting to see some trends like what we're doing with Blazefire Games. We're very involved with historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs. So we're starting to really involve our company with a heavy focus on Black colleges. We have several Black colleges now under our brand, under Blazefire Games we're really proud of. And we have some degree tracks like Morris College in Sumter, South Carolina, is about to launch an eSports and cybersecurity and video game degree. The only school in the country that will be offering that, and we helped them create that. See, so we're starting to see the trend of more girls, a focus on girl gamers. But I think even more so, the HBCU side is great, but we also got to bring along the Native Americans and Hispanics with this. So these are kind of our focus. And then we're doing a lot of focus over in Africa, especially like in Ghana and all of that. Blaze Fight Game, we're looking at 5 locations over in Ghana.
It's amazing that you're pulling more people into the esports space, but why do you think females aren't as integrated into esports as men? Is it a personal opinion, or do you think there's a bias?
Well, I mean, there's contrary to popular belief, there's about 22% of gamers are female, but you won't ever know it, hide it, because Michael, do you ever know if you ever playing a female or not? See, so girls gamers always, well, you don't shake your head answer, but they always talk about how they get bullied a lot. They're, so I think that's it. So the guys who form their teams, they go naturally to pick guys, right? Right. And then what do you think? What do you think? Girl gamers why do you think girls gamers don't play as much? Any reason? Yeah. See how you answer that we didn't know? And that's a great answer. You know why that's a great answer? It's because girls gamers usually hide during the gaming because most teams know if that's a girl gamer playing, they don't want nothing to do with them. So I think the guys have blocked him out. See how he just shook his head like he didn't know? That actually was the right answer, because he doesn't even know when he's on Valorant if he's playing with a girl or not, because they won't reveal themselves. So I think that's part of it, guys. It's sad, right? It's sad, but because we need the balance of esports in my world to be balanced with everybody. Will we get there? I think we have a long way to go.
Okay, so I understand why someone would want to hide if they fear being bullied online. Do you think in the future will be better though?
Yeah, I mean, Michael, bullying, we got this rule about no bullying, right? Clearly, no. I'm like Mark. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm like Dr. Martin Luther King on this one. One, there's a dream. I believe there's a dream that will happen, right? Martin Luther King talked about one day the dream that he wanted his kids and all that to be in schools. What do we not all right now? You and you can walk in a place that's integrated, right? And not segregated. What do you think? You think one day it'll be better, Michael?
Well, I think right now we're heading downhill, but in the future we can go up.
See?
Okay,
Yeah. And I love that answer that he thinks it's going this way, because guess what? He's on it, but he does see. I like that. He's optimistic, just like I am. I have a dream, right? And he's optimistic.
That's interesting because even though there aren't as many female gamers in esports, there are many female gamers who are also content creators. What do you think is the difference there, and why there are more female gamers who play online versus competitive esports?
Again, I think it's a boys' club. I think the boys' club has blocked it out. Honestly, I think at all ages. I think the boys' clubs have said, we're not letting the girls in. So the girls have said, you know what? We'll just go and form our own groups. We'll form our own teams, form our own professional teams and non-professional teams. So we are really big. Blaze Fire Game is really focused on creating girl teams even at our HBCUs and our high school level and our middle school level. And now we have a big focus on elementary schools. So we can form these girl game clubs so they can go and compete against some boys and say, guess what? No. Look at the WNBA, right? Look at softball in college. Girls, some of them guys probably couldn't even hit some of those softballs those girls pitch, right? In college. So so we're on a mission. Blaze Fire Game is on a mission where we're going to make everything equal.
And one of the benefits of gaming is that there isn't an unfair advantage to males playing the game versus females playing the game, since it's not a physical sport, really. All you have to do is use your controller, and you have to be aware and alert of your opponent. And
Yeah,
so I think
yeah, I
there's
like
hope.
that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just said, I think me and many other people are optimistic about the future of esports and inclusivity.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I think there's nothing but upside. So look, we spend a lot of nights and mornings, and I get on him about his merch, and and I'll just say, okay, we got like he has on a t-shirt now, but I'm like, okay, hoodies gonna be hoodies wear year round. Like it's hot, well, cold up here in Minnesota, but so we talk about merch. Look, we just launched the Blaze Fire Game watch.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
So yeah, so I'm gonna have to get okay. So don't worry, we're looking at some on the table right there. We'll ship you guys Blaze Fire Game watch. So see what I mean? So Blaze Fire Game watch, merch. See, we realize you make revenue by your brand and stop being a consumer. Buy your own brand. Wear your own watch. And this is our new watch we just came out with, Blaze Fire Game watch.
that's really cool. And that watch looks amazing. How can our audience find that?
You can go to blazefiregames.com and you'll be able to, on our website, we have it where you can actually order the watch right there. It's $99, right? I mean, like we wanted to make it affordable, right? We wanted to have a quality watch, but when I sit in meetings, I love it, right? And then, people look at it and, hey, then they order it. See, so why should I wear somebody else's watch when I can wear what? I wear the watch for the company, and my son basically said he created it, right? It was him that said that you should call it Blaze Fire Games. I was like, all these hours I stayed up trying to come up with a gaming name. He walks in 30 seconds. Oh, you should call it Blaze Fire Games. And walks out of here. Like, I was like, and there was born Blaze Fire Games.
Isaiah, speaking of products, do you have any upcoming projects that you're currently working on that you'd like to share with us, or products?
Yeah, I would say definitely we just launched our watch. So that's our newest product right there, right? But we're working on a really, really cool project that we believe that will reach the world with some designs, right? Not only is our watch is one major product. One of the projects we're working on is really working with the Native Americans with about 32, I think it's about 32 tribal reservations. So we're in talks with them right now to open up Blaze Fire Game locations on about 32 Native American locations around the US.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So Native Americans will even be able to play video games too. Well, they already have, but now in esports.
Yeah.
So I give that a thumbs up.
Yeah,
Me
thank you. And they'll be able to create their mobile app games and all that, because we're going to have the career pathways there, because that's important. So I think one of the projects we have going on, which will be coming up, spring break. So Michael and I will go on a tour for spring break. He has a franchise down in Sumter, South Carolina, about 2,000 square feet on a college HBCU campus, Morris College. So in March, he has spring break. So we go down to Sumter, South Carolina, where I'm from. He gets to train people inside there, like you guys, age group on Valorant and all that. But more importantly, it's his franchise inside that building. So we get to go in spring break where he goes to help kids learn how to play those games, but also we get to spend that week showing them how to learn how to create their own game. So we go on tour starting spring break, and then this summer, we'll be doing summer Blaze Fire Games camps across the US.
That's great.
Yeah.
How do you see esports evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think I'm gonna answer, and then I'm gonna let you answer where you think gaming and esports will be in 5 years. Like in your mind, Michael, what do you think is gonna be big, small? I think it's gonna be. Well, from our perspective, I want to see more people that look like us creating the games in the next continued 5 to 10 years. Unfortunately, there are less than 5% of Black game developers in the US. To me, that hurts me, right? So I'm on a mission to make that a positive number versus a negative number, right? It's less than 5%. No way. We got to change that. And I can only change that with you and the Michaels of the world. So if we can keep training everybody in the next 5 to 10 years, or those like the juveniles, right, who the world gave up on, right? If we can keep training people that look like us and or not look like us, like the Native Americans, Hispanic. I believe if we can change that narrative, we can now go to the industry and say, okay, I've knocked on your door. Now you better open it. Right? So, because we're here. What do you think? What do you think gaming is going? Then you're gonna see more blacks in it, girls in it. What do you think?
I think I'm gonna see more black gamers in the future of gaming.
Okay. Well, Isaiah, you seem like you're pretty involved with game development. What would you say is your favorite part of video game development?
I would say just the for me, I like what the layout is going to look like. Like, see, I'm a marketing guy. So I'm like the vision. I want to see like, okay, if we're going to build this football stadium, how are we going to build this football stadium? Are we going to have a lot of seats in it, or are we going to have just make it small? So for me, it's all about the I'm going to say the interior design. I'm all about the look and the feel of what will it look like. So that's my favorite part. When I'm working with game developer, I'm like, hey, tell me if that's going to be blue seat over there, a yellow seat, or how many, like we're working on the football stadium right now, a Metaverse world, right? One. So I'm all about the interior design. You've been working on the gun, right? Yeah. So tell them about the gun you're working on. The thing like the color, I couldn't figure out the color. Tell them about the color and all that.
I was working on this gun in Roblox. The game's called Phantom Forces. And there's a studio where you can create your own guns, but I don't think you can use them in the real game. And I was just
That's
making one.
I haven't played Roblox in a while, so I don't know that game specifically. That's really cool that you're designing your own gun though, because I know you love changing your avatar and skins to your guns. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point that the three of you, especially at this age group, there's a misconception I would think that parents would think if your kid is building a gun, they're going to use a gun. As I tell people, that's not real. Like I like the fact that he's designing something that he feels and likes. Doesn't mean that he's going to actually go out there and use it, right? So we have to help parents understand that. Oh no, Jason Sage is building a gun. No, he's not. He's building a gun because in that moment at that time, that didn't mean he was going to use it for real outside. He was building it because in his mind, Michael likes first-person shooter games. So what else was he going to build? An
Yeah,
avatar, right? It makes sense. So you have to let that motion happen and not be afraid.
I think parents are less and less afraid now than they used to because the people who are parents today are probably some of the people who played the first Doom game or the other first-person shooters that came out in the 90s. And now they might have kids who are designing their own guns. They probably understand based off of their own personal experience. I bet you can probably relate to that, Isaiah.
I can. I grew up in a time where, you see a lot of the gun activity, what's happening on the streets now, unnecessary killings by gun. But I tell people, a bullet has no eyes. You have to just really realize you're in a different environment. I think gaming, think about it. Studies have proven that juvenile crime goes down 30% when kids are involved in gaming. You know why? Because they're gaming, they're not out there carjacking. So gaming can be a positive piece. I mean, we're working really hard with a couple of police departments around the country, to help them not only recruit people to go into the police, but more importantly, show them that community policing gaming can be the same thing, and it can break down some barriers of trust, because right now, there's not a lot of trust in the police. I'm not saying overall that's everywhere, but if we can do gaming and policing together, look how we can break down the barriers. Michael's going to be with me with a chief of police in a couple of weeks, and they're going to be happy to meet him, right? Because they're going to see, hey, he's a young Black kid, but guess what? He's not a young Black kid trying to figure out if he's going to go steal. He's involved with something else that gets his mind away from stealing.
I understand that. And you guys seem really busy too, going across the world, setting up camp for Native Americans, going on a summer tour, meeting police officers. It sounds really fun.
Yeah, I would say it's fun. You? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is fun. It's fun because we're watching the lives we're changing, right? Yeah, that's our goal. We've always said, people ask, what do we do? You know what our answer is? We change lives for the greater good.
Okay.
Michael, how can a child interested in esports use their skills to make a positive impact in their community or society at large?
Wow, I like that question. How do you think esports and gaming can make a positive impact in the community? You gotta just speak up louder though.
That's a hard question.
He says sorry, question. Well, let's think about it. I don't think it's hard. How can esports and gaming be positive versus negative in the community? Meaning it's something good. If you're gaming, you're doing something good versus you're not stealing, right? So I think that's what he's asking. Is it can be positive? You think gaming can be positive? That's what he's asking. Well, tell me.
I think gaming can be positive.
Okay. Gaming is pretty positive. It's really fun and it can just take you away, like watching a movie. And speaking of that, do you think there'll be a day when games are more popular than movies? Because as of now, video games are making more money than movies, but that's because video games are more expensive and people put more time into them. But do you think there'll be a time when people are buying the same amount of games as people watch movies?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. League of Legends, the championship of League of Legends had more people watching than Super Bowl.
Hmm.
See what I
Well,
mean? So
that's shocking.
it's already there. Like, so think about it. There are movie theaters. There are several movie theater chains who shut down because of pandemic. They're converting them where you can bring your own gaming laptop and play up on the big screen against everyone. It's
Hmm.
already here.
Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard of that before. Do
Yeah.
you plan on trying it out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're looking at renting one of the movie theaters and holding Blaze Fire game night.
Okay.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah.
In your opinion, how does the esports community ensure that as esports grows, it will become more inclusive and accessible for everyone?
I think in my opinion, I think it'll become more inclusive when we start taking down the toxic behavior of realizing that this demographic world that we're living in now has changed and it's going to keep changing. Look, studies have shown the minority piece of how there's just more minorities than the other population, and the other population is white, right? So I think once they take all of that, look at removing those toxic barriers, there's hope. There's hope, and I think it'll work out perfectly.
There's hope.
Yep,
Great.
there's hope.
Michael, what advice do you have for children who want to become young entrepreneurs just like you?
Hmm.
That you should always pursue your dreams and never give up.
I think that's some good inspirational advice, Michael.
And what about you, Isaiah? Can you share one final piece of advice for children listening who want to pursue a career in esports?
Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, there was advice that he gave that I've never forgotten. Your passion chooses you, you don't choose your passion. That's true. Once your passion, once somehow something happens in your life that you know you are really passionate about, it chose you. You didn't choose.
Well, amazing advice, Isaiah. And who did you say said this? Jeff Bezos?
Jeff Bezos, former CEO and founder of Amazon.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for joining us today on this episode of Esports, Metaverse, and Beyond. We hope to see you both again soon.
But before we go, how can people connect with you online and find out more about your programs?
Blaze Fire Games, go to blazefiregames.com. You'll see all of our programs there. And that would be the best way to go. Michael's on IG. What's your IG? Was it Michael? What was it? Michael?
I don't remember.
Oh yeah. So he's IG. You can find Blaze Fire Game on IG. So we're on IG, Blaze Fire Game on Instagram. You can also find us on our Twitter page, Blaze Fire Game. So definitely on Instagram, send us a follow and we'll be happy to connect with you. But you can go to blazefiregames.com and there you go.
Well, thank you. Our conversation was amazing today, and your answers were phenomenal. We really enjoyed today's episode. It was so unique talking to just not one person, but two people at a time. So thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Michael?
Thank you for joining eSports, Metaverse, and beyond. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.